All right, well, welcome everyone. My name is Vicki. I am the temporary president of N4C, and Doug Stinson is here. He's the prior president, and we want to welcome you to this webinar that we're very excited to have. I know some people were asking about John, and I'm glad that it all worked out and he's here with us today. So Doug's going to talk to you for just a moment about camera clubs if you don't already belong to one, and if you don't, you might want to think about it. So Doug?
Yeah, well, welcome to the seminar. Hopefully you see on your screen some good reasons for joining a camera club. One is just camaraderie, enjoying lively conversation at meetings, conferences, field trips with others who share your interests. It's a great way to meet people who you know you have at least one thing in common. And then, of course, camera clubs are a great opportunity for learning. Gain new skills from expert speakers, such as the one we have today, from other club members, and from events and publications. And many clubs will have different opportunities to provide you with feedback on your photos so you can improve. One way is in monthly competitions. If you like competitions, then that's one way to do that, is submit your images to competition. But there's also opportunities in different formats like salons where there's just informal critiques. And of course, getting inspired by other photographers. Now, if you happen to reside in the greater San Francisco Bay Area, you can find a camera club near you by going to N4C, that stands for Northern California Council of Camera Clubs, n4c.org, and then click on clubs on the menu. And there's a little search function where you can type in your address and it will locate the club nearest to you. So I hope to see those of you in one of our club meetings in the future. And of course, one of the benefits of joining the club is you will get invitations to webinars such as this. So that's all I have to say. So I'll turn it back to Vicki.
Well, again, welcome, John. And we're excited to hear what you have to say. There are 4 parts, John has told me. And so at the end of each one, we will take some specific questions. And if we have some general things, we're going to save them for a little bit later, I think. So, but put your questions in the chat. The chat is being monitored by Michelle, John's wife, and she will let us know how we're doing there. Okay. All right. Welcome, John.
Well, thank you very much for inviting me. It's good to be here. Before I get going in, Vicki, maybe you could just chime in. We should have chatted about this sooner. How long do you want me to go for? I think we were talking about an hour. I just wanted to double check.
Oh, I thought it was a good 1.5 or so.
Oh, well, we can. Good. Then I don't have to rush through anything.
Yes, please don't rush. We want to take it all in.
Excellent. Okay, well, I suppose there's a number of people who have never seen or heard of me from your clubs, and I should probably just do a real quick roundup of who I am. I got started in photography when I was 10 years old, and I had found a camera, and I looked at it, and I thought, I wonder what's on that roll of film. And then I ended up just throwing it out and buying my own and starting to shoot as a kid. And this is not when everybody had cameras. And so I went to grade school and high school, taking pictures of my friends in sports and neighborhood and what have you. And then I got into it in college where they actually had a course on photography. And I took one class and I knew it was for me. And so I ended up getting my degree in photojournalism from Oregon State University, worked at a couple of newspapers in the process of getting the degree, graduated to a bad economy. And so I had to grab a job in a camera store for a while. And I still pursued photography on my own projects for quite some time. It was a number of years later that I got to work with a great photographer a lot of you will know about, Art Wolf. And he was doing the TV show Travels to the Edge. And he hired me to be part of the very small traveling crew that got to go to all sorts of great places. Our first trip was down to the Amazon. We went to Africa. We went to Alaska. We went to Antarctica. And then we went to a whole other places that didn't begin with the letter A. It went on for about 3 years. It was a lot of fun. And there was no faster learning curve in my photographic career than when working very closely with another great photographer. After that, I started teaching classes. And I remember Art asked me to teach the first photography class. And I thought, well, who am I to teach anyone else photography? I only have a degree and have been doing it for 20 years. I don't know that I have the credentials to teach other people photography. But he said, no, you can go ahead and do it. And so I put together my first class and it went over really well. And so I continued teaching. And then I got hooked up with a company called Creative Live that I think a lot of you will know about. And throughout the 2010s, I taught, I forget the number, but it's over 100 classes at Creative Live. And a lot of you probably know the fact that I've taught different camera classes and a variety of different photography classes. And now I have broken free and I am recording and producing and selling classes myself through my own website, johngreenggo.com. And so if you want to see more about that, you can look me up on the internet. We've got a monthly newsletter that goes out with articles and information and announcements about new classes. And when we get back to doing workshops and tours, we'll have more announcements about that. So that's just my quick history. Now for today, I have a talk called Focus, Sharpen Your Skills. And that is partly because I recently wrote a book on focusing called 50 Things Photographers Need to Know About Focus. And 4 of these are 4 of the 50 topics in that book. And it's kind of fun doing them live with the animations that I have, because I can explain it, I think, a little bit more clearly in some ways than you can in the books, but the books are good in other ways. And so some people like books, some people like live talk. So maybe we'll do a little bit of the best of both here. So I'm going to get into the keynote here. And so I'm going to make a few changes and see if we can get this up and running. And so I think we have the title slide on. Give me a thumbs up, Doug, if it looks good to you. All right, so this is called Focus, Sharpen Your Skills. And I want to talk about 4 different focusing techniques and tools that we have for improving focus. And so we're going to talk about these 4 different areas.